Thank you. My name is Zachary Frank, and this is my partner Juan Rodriguez. And tonight we're going to talk to you about our solar bench. We'd like to go ahead and have a gander. We also have papers on the bench. I don't know if many of you grabbed one, but our specs and a little more about it are on there after we're done presenting. So, why a solar bench? Solar was actually a common theme on what Juan wanted to create. So we teamed up to find some ideas to create a project that applied to what we did with solar power in the process. It wasn't long before we actually discovered a solar chair online that was pretty remarkable, and that concept gave us the inspiration on what we were looking for. And so we began drawing up our own concepts of what we would like to create.
This concept was brought up on the idea to use it on public places where AC electricity is not commonly found, like bus stops, maybe theme parks, and beaches. Our solar bench is equipped with a 12-volt, 35 amp hour battery, which equates to 420 watt hours. We included a 50% safety factor into the charge controller, which stops the current to the outputs at 12.4 volts, which is usually at 50% of that 35, which is 17.5 amp hours, which we are able to use. We are able to recharge the battery in 7 hours at a rate of 2.5 amps. And we are able to charge 6 phones of 5.8, 300 milliamp batteries at a rate of 1 amp each. The ports are dual ports, which are 2 USB 4-port, 6 in total, and they have an output current of 1 amp.
So now, even though we do have a deep cycle with the battery, for bringing it below 50% for a certain amount of time would actually reduce the lifespan of the battery and even damage it to an extent. This is why we take in a 50% safety factor. Now, on the slides that you see here are actually readings of the power that we were able to obtain over a 7-day period using a data logger. Our max voltage was about 22.4 volts, and we had an average of 12.5. For the first 2 days, you'll notice that the 2 lower portions are still a little bit higher than the rest of the days. This was due to the full moon. That was the last week on the 11th and 12th. So peak sun hours, as you may have heard earlier on, were the most sunlight hours given within a day that a PV panel could obtain. A little bit of the dips that you see would be due to cloudiness or anything else that obstructed the panel. At nighttime, we actually came to discover that we had put, just like now, our solar panel directly under a lamppost, which is why we had a very minimal 0 voltage reading, most likely due to the light post having a timer that set it off for a brief period of time before it came back on for the next day. For us to understand more about the amount of power that we were drawing, we did use the data logger. The time that we used the data logger was, we took readings every 2 minutes for a week. Now a little bit about how we actually created the bench. For the first design, the chair would have actually been made with a large strip of bent wood and had more of a lounge chair design to it, as seen on the somewhat of a drawing on top. Since this called for us to find a way to actually get lumber shaped into an odd wave-like design, as well as finding a way to support the shape, we soon realized we weren't going to be able to go with this drawn design.
For our second design, it was more of a bench style like you see here in campus with a solar panel in the middle. The only issue we came up on was that we had to find a thick enough acrylic sheet put on top of the solar panel so it will support a person's weight or else it will crack. The only setback into doing that was we had a special order the acrylic sheet, and it was costly, which was double the price of the whole bench.
Bench was a simple and practical idea. However, after discussing pros and cons, we soon discovered it wasn't as good an idea as we had thought. But, working with the same idea, we bounced around some more to come up with the design we ended up using for our final project.
I came up with the idea of using a 3D design software, Autodesk in this case, and I did it because of the fact that I could design the bench And afterwards, I could make a printout of the schematics, which is this one right here. And I was able to use that when it came time to assemble the actual bench, and it made it easier.
We constructed a model design that allowed for us to harness as much power as possible, giving us the best angle to attract the most sunlight at any given time throughout the day. We took the idea of placing the solar panel overhead instead of beneath us, but we also still wanted to have a bench to sit on.
In the middle, as you can see, the charge controller keeps the battery charges the battery at 4.4 volts, and then it maintains that battery with 3.8 volts. And it does that, like I said earlier, programmed it so that 12.4 volts, which is that 50% factor we included into it, it will shut down the output power to the outlets, and it won't come out until it gets to 3.8 volts.
So, what would we have done differently? Truthfully, the only problem we really encountered was when we left the wood in more of a cool/moist environment, and we had a few slightly warped pieces that made it a little bit difficult to keep everything level.
One thing I would have liked to change was the material. I probably would have liked to use aluminum, probably would have lasted longer out here in the weather. And pretty much, that's, as far as electrical, that was an easy problem. We didn't have any problems. Only issue was the wood, which might start warping.
And then how this would contribute or help out in the world. A bench can be put anywhere in a wide open sunny area. As Juan said before, parks or any place else that doesn't have access to electricity easily, which can help anyone who would need a power source for electronics. And at this time, please feel free to ask us any questions as our slideshow of the project is being built will be shown in the background. Yes, sir.
We use a dolly.
These guys. Some extra muscle. Any more questions? 2.5 minute slideshow. Feel free. Yes, in the back.
Do you intentionally align the placement of it so that it's north or south or east west?
So with solar panels, it's best to always have your panels facing southward. So for us, the idea in mind would be that you would have it facing in that direction at any given time. Yes, sir. Correct.
Well, purpose of it, like I said earlier, put in place on bus stops. You'll come and see outlets to charge your phone, at least I haven't. And that's pretty much the idea, or parks, beaches, somewhere there's an emergency, you charge your phone.
Question is the conversion of the solar power is done in real time. And I charge the phone while it's sunny out there. If it's night, then I go in. The device that you use to store convert the solar energy to the capable of burning the energy or is done in real time.
From what I understand from the question, that you are able to charge your phone during sunlight hours because of the battery. As far as converting, it's DC voltage, both ways from the battery and to the controller. Did that answer your question?
It's not storing it and allowing somebody to come 2 hours later and charge.
It is. It's storing in a 35 amp hour battery, so you can use when there's no sunlight or during sunlight. Any more questions?
We can signify that when the battery is actually below it, let's say if I can nothing about this technology by you can charge my phone, is there any way that that would indicate it turned off?
I'm saying if there was a way to note the battery itself was too low and then it would put out power, we would have no light on the LED showing. But in order for that to happen, we would have to have no power for more than 3 days at a time, and the battery itself would have to have been already completely drained. Thank you all very much for your time.